guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video we continue the countdown to Godzilla 0. Yesterday we did two videos in one because those movies I had seen back to back, and those were Godzilla Tokyo SOS and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. But today we're going to separate the two because I did see these two next movies on two different occasions. So this video we're going to talk about GMK, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. I was going to say Godzilla Monsters. Well, Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah Giant Monsters All Out Attack is the full title. I should probably be specific before some Toho purists get really upset at me and, you know, threaten to throw themselves out of a window because I got a name wrong. Now, this movie, I remember this one because, as I said, I saw the other two I talked about yesterday around, I want to say 08, 09. This one I saw in a very small window in 2010, I believe. And this was so weird. I saw this one in between from just ending my relationship with my first wife and before meeting my current wife Kim. And at this time I was still living in Rhode Island. I had moved into a new spot. Rented shared a house with like two other roommates after I left after I moved out of my ex-wife's house. And yeah, I just, you know, trying to do my thing. I was still working overnights. I was still going to school and, you know, trying to kind of maintain everything under control during that very, very hectic climate. And I remember seeing this one and I, like many people, enjoyed this one thoroughly. It's only one of two movies that I really like in the Millennium era. And the funny thing is, what motivated me, because since I wasn't too crazy about the other two, what really actually motivated me to watch this one was two things. Number one, Baragon was in it, and I thought to myself, wow. I'm like, Baragon. I mean, at that time I knew him vaguely. I know much more about him now than before, but still, just the fact that he was in the movie was pretty insane. And then the other thing was realizing that King Ghidorah was actually going to be a good guy in this, which was a first. And I was really intrigued. And when I saw the movie, and so imagine, while obviously Godzilla is the main attraction, it actually wasn't my number one motivation to kind of pick this one up. And mind you, I did not know this one actually existed. I stumbled upon this one. So when I lived in Rhode Island, I worked overnight at a Walmart, and there was a Best Buy right across the street. So every Thursday, I think it was every Thursday after getting out of work, you know, the Best Buy over there opened around, I want to say 8:30 or so. I used to get out of work at 8 in the morning. And I remember I used to go over there just to see what the new releases were, because they would have them out early, because they would go, you know, they had people coming in at 6 o'clock. And I remember, I don't remember what movie I went in there for specifically, but I do remember going in there for a specific movie and then seeing this one on sale, the GMK, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick this up. So it's so weird. I kind of just stumbled upon it and had no clue it existed at the time. And mainly bought it because I was intrigued because of the idea of Ghidorah and Baragon. Mothra I didn't care about. At that point I've been so tired of Mothra and of course Godzilla. But upon seeing the movie, I was shocked at just how evil they made God. This is one of the I mean, there's many movies where Godzilla's a villain, but this one he was like pure darkness and evil, and he was actually a very smart villain. To this day, I think everybody knows the most epic scene is when you think Mothra's getting the drop on him and then he just turn around and blast her into oblivion. Yeah, and this was definitely a big favorite. I think I saw it multiple times after I bought it. Because, you know, I would watch the movie through once, maybe twice, and then I would continuously just fast forward to the parts that I liked. I do that with pretty much every Godzilla movie almost. Except for when I reviewed them all, I sat through all of them again. Some of it was painful, looking at you, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. uh, which we're actually gonna get to at some point. Crazy, but yeah, this was definitely one of my favorites, and I was very, very, very happy that I stumbled upon it. It would have been a shame had I not seen it until much later, like around the time I made my channel, because there is a movie in the Millennium Era that I did not see until I started doing the rewind reviews. But yeah, GMK was definitely good, and you know, it was a good escape for a couple of hours, especially considering what I was going through at the time. So you know, getting all these Godzilla movies back into the fold, and you know, at this time I still was building up my collection. You know, if I saw a Godzilla movie on DVD that I either owned on VHS or didn't own at all, because I didn't have all of them, even on VHS, I did not nearly have all of them, especially as I learned how many of them started coming out. You know, a lot of Heisei movies, even at this point, I did not own. So I was still kind of building my collection, and stumbling upon this one was just, for me, it was a huge treat. You know, can you imagine stumbling on a Godzilla movie you didn't know existed, and then watching it and it being one of the best movies Toho's ever made with Godzilla in it? I thought it was, and King Ghidorah being a good guy was cool, but he was kind of underwhelming. Like, he wasn't that powerful. I mean, Godzilla in this movie just thrashes all. But yeah, I would say this was probably sometime in 2010 that I saw this one, and it was a very small window. It was between August and November that I saw it. I even remember the window because I like I said, I remember moving out of my ex-wife's house, and I remember I hadn't met my current wife yet. So I met Kim like several months after I left my ex-wife. So I hadn't met her yet. So I know that there was a very short window there that I saw this movie, and that was it. And that thinking about it now, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, this was definitely one of the best ones in all of Godzilla series, and it's certainly for some people, most people, it's number one in the Millennium series, which is understandable. For me, it's a tie between Final Wars, because Final Wars also has a huge meaning for me, and I just love the epicness of that movie. But yeah, GMK was definitely a memorable one for a number of reasons, other than the fact that it was a great movie. But anyway, that's it for this video. When and where were you when you first saw GMK? This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.